From the Oklahoman newsroom, this is Thunder Thursday. I'm Jenny Carlson here with our Thunder coverage team. All of our Thunder coverage, playoff coverage, is brought to you by J. Marshall Square, OKC's only big house apartment community. Let me introduce the panel. Eric Horn.
We got a sponsor. I like it.
It's
Sponsor
playoff
is
time.
good.
Big time. Eric Horn, Thunder
Yes.
beat writer. Barry Trammell, columnist, and Anthony Slater, AC.
Whatever I do.
Thunder beat writer. We are here to talk about, of course, the playoffs.
Playoffs? Kidding me?
You kind of got a little Jim Mora look to you, and especially with the sound too.
Oh, really?
I feel like your voice is like
Well, that's one
Jim
of the nicer
Mora.
things you've said to me, which is more of an indictment of what you said to me over the years.
One of the greatest sound bites of all time in sports.
I
It's-
feel
You
like
dish it too.
I feel like now we should use it every playoff edition of Thunder Thursday.
As long
much
as
we
he can be the one.
Yeah, of course.
I'll vine it and get it up.
All right, guys. Hey, we got to talk about this first round series. We found out late last night it would be the Dallas Mavericks in the first round for the Thunder. It took the last of 82 games and really the last of the games that were played in that 82-game schedule to get it all figured out, with 5, 6, 7 coming down to the last moments there, guys. Initial thoughts, Anthony, about a matchup with the Mavericks?
Well, I mean, to me, the initial thoughts, it just speaks to how much weaker the bottom half of the West playoff bracket is than. Remember 2 years ago when they were the 2 seed, they were not the 3, and they got Memphis in the first round. It ends up going 7. You knew it was going to be a tough series. Memphis had 50 wins. They had Marc Gasol coming back. Everyone going in that series. You didn't know if the Thunder were going to win it. This time around, your options last night were, Dallas, who, the Thunder swept them this season. I really believe. We'll talk more about that matchup particularly, but I think it's going to be probably a 5-gamer. Memphis, who has nobody, Chris Birdman Anderson starting at center, Jordan Farmar at point guard. And then, the toughest one was Portland, a team we thought was going to be, one of the worst in the league this year, just because they have Damian Lillard and some frisky guards. Mm-hmm. That was the toughest potential matchup between, 5, 6, 7. This playoff so much to me is about 1, 2, 3, 4 in the West, not the West.
Well, look at last year. We're sitting not having anything to write about this time. Last year, Thunder goes 45-37, doesn't even make the playoffs. This year, Portland goes 45-37. They're the 5 seed.
Yeah. And incredible season from the Blazers. And you're right.
Yeah, it's a complete flip. Well, you had a chance, Eric, to talk to some guys today after practice about sort of the playoff history of these two teams, which it's not extensive, but it's fairly significant because they've met each other sort of on their way to greatness in both instances, really.
Yeah, it seems like ages ago, but the last time these two teams met up was 2012 when they went to the finals, and the Thunder got a sweep over them 4-0. So, that's a kind of a cool thing that the last time they met up, but who's the only person left on that team from there? It might just be Dirk. And then even the year after, that team was deconstructed, the Mavericks. So it's a completely different scenario now, but it's going to be one where it might be another sweep.
Yeah.
You've forgotten the great J.J. Barea.
He'll be booed.
He's an instigator.
He's gone. He left, but he's come back.
He was a Western Conference Player of the Week a couple weeks ago, maybe last week.
He's part of the reason they've actually had a late season resurgence.
Yeah, he's been excellent.
But, the funny thing is, now that Thunder will play the Mavericks, they'll have had 3 series, I believe, in 6 years, which is the same amount they've had with the Grizzlies, 3 in 6 years. But there's such a difference.
It seems so different.
Because first of all, if you add up the games, the Grizzlies series is way more because they're all 7, and just the contention, just everything. The Mavericks series, you guys are talking about what, 2 5-gamers, or one was a sweep, so 9 games, 9 games in 2 series. Like we said, we could be talking a week from now, and this could be interesting at 1-1, 2-2 or something, but we don't really think this is going to be like a Thunder Grizzlies, bloodbath.
Yeah. Is this a warm-up series in essence, Barry, in your mind?
Yeah, largely. It's the case where, the Mavs really can't match up with the Thunder. Chandler Parsons is out. Darren Williams is back, but he's hurt. Rick Carlisle's done a great job. If you did a Coach of the Year for the last 2 weeks, it's Rick Carlisle. He's patched the team together. He's changed their structure.
Yeah.
They're not even running up and down the court. They're gone slow ball. They're playing like Utah. Trying to keep the defense aligned, and that's what they'll have to do with the Thunder. But I don't know. They don't have anybody that can match up with Westbrook. They don't have anybody that can match up with Durant. The Thunder's got guys that can match up with their scorers. it's just a terrible matchup for Dallas.
You would have said that about almost any team they would have drawn in the first round, though. I mean, Houston went and blew their opportunity. That would have probably been the most intriguing first-round series or opponent for the Thunder, and they couldn't even get into that because they were locked into the 8th seed on the last day.
Well, she mentioned warm-up series. I think the West is a warm-up series for the first round for the Warriors,
seeds.
Spurs, Thunder. You know, the Clippers, Blazers, to me, that's probably a 5-game or 2, but that's like the friskiest of them all.
Yeah, most intriguing for
I
sure.
think that's the second time I've used the word frisky. Third now.
It is the playoffs. You got to up your game here.
Yeah.
Is this? I mean, I said warm up, but guys, it seems important to me that the Thunder really uses this as an opportunity because we know what looms. I mean, this is gonna. If the Thunder is going to achieve their ultimate goal, it's a gauntlet, and they need to get themselves ready. What do you guys want to see in these early games, even, to really sort of propel this team forward?
Desperation. I think this team needs to know that, as I think you're going to write about for Saturday, like this could potentially be its last run. They don't have the title. Like, I just want to see them play. It doesn't have to be like the crispest basketball. It doesn't, you know, they might have some late game problems. They're definitely going to have some turnover problems, although the Dallas doesn't force a lot, which is another part of this matchup. But I just want to see them like desperate to win, you know, just energy from start to finish. Mm-hmm. I think that is what's going to make this team super dangerous against the Spurs, against the Warriors. It's just that knowledge that this could be it.
Yeah.
And just they can't allow it to go away without a ring.
That focus late that we didn't see throughout the season.
Yeah.
Dallas really can't test the Thunder on what they really need tested on, which is transition defense.
Yeah.
Dallas is going to walk it up
and
you
be
know,
careful with the ball because
and the turnovers.
Dirk's
That's
not
right.
picking guys and clean.
No, so it's not even if the Thunder
probably
wins,
would have been-
the Rockets would have been a test
Yes.
because the Rockets will get up and run, and if you don't get back on defense, they'll make you pay.
Right.
And the Rockets like to try to steal and disrupt your offense, and but that's not going to happen here. So even if the Thunder dominates and moves on, it's no great sign that they're fixing their problem.
It's true. What is interesting, though, is I feel like the Rockets would have been a good test for a Warrior series, where the Mavs, in some ways, might be a mini decent test for a Spurs series, because the Spurs aren't going to get up and down.
They play like the Spurs.
They're like a way better Mavericks.
Just not, way better.
I'm not arguing that.
Well, and it's not necessarily a style thing in my mind, Eric, but I think what Anthony said sort of fits the bill in my mind. You want to see this team sort of flipping that switch that we thought they were going to flip after the All-Star break, never quite did on a consistent basis. Maybe we see it now in the playoffs, even if the style isn't a warm-up for series against the Spurs, the Warriors, on down the road.
You would hope so, but and that's what also troubled me about them getting the Mavericks, the Grizzlies, or the Blazers. Is selfishly, I wanted that Rockets series because I thought it would have kind of lit a fire under their butts in a sense. I mean, this is a Rockets team they have history with. You got the Patrick Beverly stuff.
They've had trouble this year with them, 2-2.
Yeah, they've lost to the Rockets twice on the road. And this Dallas team, even in the games where Dallas made runs this year, the Thunder just seemed like they were comfortable just being like, okay, we can come back on this team. And they did every time. And it would have been a different kind of beginning to the playoffs. Okay, we got to lock in now because this team's going to come down and bang threes on us real quick. And you would have had to deal with James Harden coming downhill at you. So I think it would have been a nicer thing for them to have the Rockets to start.
Warm-up wise, yes, but I'm not sure they wanted to deal with the Harden storyline and the pressure that
of course
the Rockets go up 2-1 and
No,
like
they
you
wanna
imagine
deal
the
with that.
national media just like James Harden will end the Kevin Durant era. Like that would just be it would just be
the stories
stunning.
would have been awesome.
Oh, man. Talk about the zombie James Harden trade. We'd have been talking about that one again. Hey, you're watching Thunder Thursday. All of our Thunder playoff coverage brought to you by J. Marshall Square, Oklahoma City's only big house apartment community. Guys, we talked about the Western Conference matchups and how really the top four, you might say there's some intrigue at 4-5, but not a lot of guesswork in the Western Conference first round series. Anything in the East surprise you guys? Think there could be any jump ups and surprises on the Eastern Conference?
The two middle ones, 3, 4, 5, 6 seeds. All 4 teams had the same record.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
It's crazy.
I mean, it is crazy. I've never seen that before. It's like the Thunder leading scorer in San Antonio, 4 guys at 17.
Yeah.
You never see that. So those are intriguing. And frankly, I think the Pacers will play Toronto well. Now, Cleveland, Detroit's going to be a wipeout.
yeah.
But I think you got 3 good series.
Although
in the East.
Reggie going against Detroit and I feel like he believes they're going to win that series.
Well, maybe.
That'll be kind of
Good
funny.
luck.
Like if he has one
Good
big
luck.
game, in the Palace, like maybe he has 35, like we could see cry number 2 from Reggie post game. So that's kind of interesting. And then as he mentioned, like 2, 3, 4, like 2 through 8 in the East, like to me he's a toss-up. I'm really not that high on Toronto. What I was hoping for was the Heat would slide into that 4-5. So if they won that, you'd get Heat Cavs in round 2. And just the demons of LeBron. He's really struggled in Miami since the trade. That's the story. I wanted that in the second round. Now we can maybe get it in the conference finals, but down the Heat would then have to go through who they playing. Hornets, who you think they'll win.
Heat, Hornets, then they'd have
They
to
had to
go.
beat the
Then have
Raptors.
to beat Toronto.
Yeah, I just, to me, sort of talking about that warm-up nature of the first-round series for the top 4 teams in the West, I feel like that's a little bit like the Cavs. Like everybody's just saying, all right, play out the string Eastern Conference and get the Cavaliers into the finals, and let's see what happens.
That's the first 3 rounds. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
And for all the great stuff that Toronto did this year, I could just never get jazzed up about them because of that. I mean, the dominance that LeBron James has shown this season and over the past 6 seasons, any team he's been on in the East has been remarkable. And, I mean, you think about it, and you put it in perspective. Toronto was getting really excited when they won 50 games this year. There was like, we won 50 games for the first time in our franchise history, and then the Thunder win 45, and we're disappointed. So it's like the East is kind of like a
They
foregone
actually
conclusion.
won 54.
Oh,
But, I mean,
when they
because-
won their 50, it was a big celebration.
55 maybe.
But 54,
Yeah.
54. But, no, 55.
55.
Anyway, it's crazy to me because like everyone is pretty much handing Cleveland the East. Whereas if you put them in the West right now, they're in like the same exact position as the Thunder, which they're good. You know, they could potentially win it, but who's picking them against the Spurs and who's picking them against the Warriors?
Yeah.
Put the Thunder in the East, and everybody's excited. Hey, let's go to the NBA
I mean,
Finals.
they would roll to the finals.
Yeah,
probably.
it's shocking. What about, guys, I mean, obviously yesterday, huge headline day in the NBA with the Warriors getting to 73. Kobe's last game, he scores 60.
Don't mention it to this guy, though. He wasn't watching. He still doesn't even know what happened.
Got it on DVR.
No, he doesn't. He's DVRing a lot of things before that.
And NBA All First Teams probably coming out at I think the next couple days here.
Yeah, I actually just sent my awards ballot in.
So probably in the next 2, 3,
interesting.
4 days. I mean, I bring this all up because we heard from Kevin Durant today, and the first thing he brought up in post-practice was, I remember a year ago, everybody was going home, and I was here with a cast on my foot. And it sort of set off some bells in my head, guys, that this guy, I mean, yes, we knew he was back in the playoffs. But do you sort of get the sense like Durant's ready to reassert himself here a little bit in these playoffs, Barry? You think is it sort of a I don't want to say coming out, but that Durant's ready to have a big show here in these playoffs?
Well, I mean, I think he usually is that way. Here's how we'll know if Durant is locked in, and that's if he's locked in on defense, which he sometimes is, sometimes isn't.
And they're good when he is, because he can be a really good defender.
That's the difference in this team. When this team
plays like
wakes up and wants to play defense, gets back in transition, they're very difficult to beat.
To me, I want to see them play. Remember that Warriors game here?
Yeah.
The only one the Warriors, like if they could just play like they did in that game, minus the last, minute and a half of regulation.
10 seconds.
Which is a very important part of the game.
Which we'll get to in our section for sure. Then I think it's good. But you're right about Durant. I know what you're saying though, because look, you talked about all NBA first team. Like
He's probably not.
I didn't put him as a first teamer. I put him as a second teamer because LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard, like they had better years. I mean, it's tough.
Durant had a pretty good year.
I know it's tough. I mean, that was like what I wrestled with the most. But I'm just saying, like the fact that like Kawhi Leonard potentially had a better year than Kevin Durant, and like Kevin Durant may know that, or at least he knows that the perception out there right now is that Kawhi Leonard was like maybe number 2 in MVP voting. Where would you have put him? I think I put him number 2.
Well, I wouldn't have put him 2. I'd put LeBron and Curry 1 and 2.
Who would you put Leonard above Durant?
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, regardless, he knows that's the guy he's going with against in the second round. And he wants to, and that is where I think, like we think they're going to roll over the Mavericks. that is where I think he can earn, his reputation. I don't want to say back, because, look, he's still I think he was 5th in my MVP ballot. I mean, this guy's a top 5 player in the league, no doubt.
But there's the sense that he has slipped. For so long he was in that top 2, and then Curry obviously gets in there, and so it's a top 3 debate. But now it feels like...
Is it a slip, or is it an elevation of the guys under
That's
him?
what I
him,
think.
right?
I
Sure.
just think it's like
You
Curry's-
guys wrote about the historic nature of this season he's had. I mean, it's not a season he just put up, so,
But,
since it's a Larry Bird type thing.
I think too, guys. You and Anthony, I think you've written about this. We've all talked about it. The free agency talk, which has been there, but definitely hasn't been the circus that we thought it would be. And so there's sort of this sense maybe he's not as big a deal as he was before that injury, and he's been as probably good as he's ever been.
Up until last night, or up until the last few weeks of the season with Kobe Mania, Golden State swallowed up every storyline we've had anyway.
Yeah.
So
No, that's right.
Yeah, I think it's
Even
more,
the Spurs, who are historically great, they won
Right.
67
I think
games.
Everyone in the I think every single GM in the league is still just as interested in Kevin Durant as they've ever been, which is yes, we'll have him. I mean, he's a top 5 player. So I don't think. I just think it's the other storylines. I mean, 73 wins. Spurs, what did they finish with?
67.
67, and that was with a
15.
slip at the end.
Well, that's with not trying in 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, and Kobe too. I mean, add him too, because he really has been a storyline all season. Obviously, last night was the major. So it's just people going ahead of him, but he knows that, and he doesn't like that. And he can change that in the playoffs, because whoever's winning and playing the best becomes the story.
Yeah, definitely so. Hey, you're watching Thunder Thursday. All of our Thunder playoff coverage this year brought to you by J. Marshall Square, Oklahoma City's only big house apartment community. Guys, I think it's time for some predictions. Let's talk this first round series for the Thunder. Starts Saturday night, 8:30. We'll all be there. Eric, what's this series look like to you?
Oh, I'll give it a sweep. I'll say Thunder sweep. I'll be bold.
How many?
I don't know how bold that is.
How many
though.
Western Conference sweeps in the first round?
Ooh, I'd say we got 3 out of the 4 series are going to be sweeps. That Clippers-Blazers series is prime for an upset. That could be the only upset.
You think Blazers potentially win that
I
one?
think the Blazers could take that to 6 or 7.
All right. Barry, what do you got?
I got the Thunder in 5. I'll just, Dallas might steal one, but if it's going to get off 5, it's going to go to 4. It's not going to 6.
Yeah.
So upset. The only upset possibility is Portland and Dallas winning one game. Blazers are going to get mauled inside by Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah. Eric, Anthony?
Yeah, I'd say 5. I think the Thunder are going to come out locked in for the first 2. I think they're going to play really well. Go to Dallas, and you know how this team is. I mean, they get up 2-0, they get up 3-0. They might lay an egg in one of the games, and it'll look regular season-like with turnovers and maybe not the defense we're used to. I think Dallas may steal 1, and then I think they'll relock back in 5, close it out, get ready for the Spurs 2 weekends from now, which is where things get interesting.
Warriors or Spurs lose any games first round, you guys?
I'm going to say no. They're playing bad teams.
I'm going to say Rockets get one.
Really?
I think the Rockets have a better chance than the Grizzlies.
I do, too.
That's a Memphis JV team.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize them. I don't recognize them.
It's unfortunate, too, because if they would have drawn the Thunder, it would have been almost sad, compared to those
Yeah.
series that we got the
No
chance to see.
Conley.
I'm glad we're getting
God.
the Mavs. It's a little bit sexier, right?
I don't know. Seems less feisty than you might be.
Well, the problem is
advertising.
Marcus Gasol's not in there battling with Steven Adams. It's
If
Birdman. And
Conley doesn't play.
Conley wouldn't play. He's out for the year.
So
With the Mavs, we get Tony Romo courtside.
Well,
least
good
2
luck.
games.
Good luck with
Although
that.
I will say I like the courtside in Memphis a lot better with the Zebo fans waving the towels. I will miss that arena, I think.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that Memphis crowd gets up
I don't
for
think
that
it will
series.
because look, we think they're going to be down 2-0 when they
Yeah.
get the first game, and there's no even in their wildest dreams do they think they're making a playoff run. You know what I mean? So it'll probably be a regular season honestly, maybe a little bit better. There'll be towels.
I
that's
wish we
better.
had a little more excitement to end this Thunder Thursday on, but these first round matchups, they didn't help us out.
it's a dud.
Okay, second round predictions: Warriors Clippers.
I'll take Golden State.
Well, obviously, give me games. Is that even
I think 5, I said.
okay? Thunder.
Wow.
How about you?
I don't see. I just don't believe in the Clippers enough to defensively to think that they're going to be able to handle the Warriors very well.
One thing about the Clippers, and like we were talking about with the Thunder earlier, and I think they're better equipped for this, but the Clippers will have some desperation too, because that's an era that has had its run, and it might be coming to an end.
They've not made it to a conference final.
No, it's true.
You could see Chris Paul, bowing up and maybe going shot for shot.
Remember them beating the Spurs last year? And that was a really good Spurs team they beat last year. So, I think it's the Warriors. So, obviously I'm taking the Warriors.
Right.
But
Are you going 5?
I think
you going 6? What are you saying?
Well, 6.
Okay.
I think they'll get 2. I don't know.
What do you think, Eric?
5.
5. Yeah, I feel 5 more than I feel 6. All right, what about the other series?
Go this way.
I'll start. I want to see the Thunder win a road game against a good team, and until they do, I'm just going to stick with Spurs and 7.
7, huh?
I'll take it to 7.
So
That means
Spurs
they'd have-
7's impressive.
It's just home court
If you
all the
take
way.
a 67-win team to 7, you've had a heck of a series.
What are you saying?
yeah.
I'm saying 6. It's gone 6 the last
They're
2
going to end
times.
it here, huh? They did it last
They
year.
did it last time.
Yeah.
Tony Parker on the bench.
Yeah, but this time, although it might be Randy Foye, they ain't going to have Derek Fisher in the post battling Tim
Well,
Duncan
that's a good point.
And Boris Diaw.
What do you got?
What do you got?
We're going back over here?
Well, I thought we were going this way.
We were.
You know what? I'm like Eric. I think I'd like to see how they play on the road. I'd also like to see how they play in this Mavs series. But I got a hard time picking against the Spurs when they have won at home the way that they've won this year. So
Yeah, that's another great point.
I
Exactly.
just don't see.
The pain train almost.
Unless unless the Thunder, what you said to start out with, unless the Thunder locks in first round and we see them play the way we thought we'd see them play throughout the regular season, I just don't see them winning that series. Now I could see it going 7. I think that's a possibility, but I'm skeptical of a win, even though I think the matchup is pretty good. I mean, I think the matchup's pretty good for the Thunder.
Yeah, maybe I'm a fool.
You gonna pick the Thunder?
I'm gonna pick the Thunder. Thunder in 6.
Wow.
I think what I've talked about, the desperation, I really think it'll be there.
Okay.
It's just from following this team all season, which you'd think I'd think the other way because I've been following this team all season.
Yeah, you've seen it.
But maybe I'm a fool here. I'll pick the Warriors in the conference finals when we do our predictions, just because how can you pick against the Warriors? But I think the Thunder match up well. I think Durant's going to outplay Leonard, although that matchup is very much a toss-up, way more than it's ever been.
Right.
I think Kanter and Adams down low, especially if they play together at times, they kill him on the glass.
Mm-hmm.
I'd worry about David West going against Kanter because Kanter usually doesn't have to face these
He's a bull.
scoring backups where he would in that series. Tony Parker scored 1 point in that game in San Antonio a couple weeks ago against Russell Westbrook. He's just
That's
not
not
who
a good matchup
he's just
for
not
him.
who he was.
It's a huge edge for OKC.
It really is. I think the Thunder are going to get it done. I think their athleticism, because I think they're going to use, when they're in that desperation mode, their athleticism just shines on the floor. I'm going to take them to beat the Spurs.
When they've been healthy, guys, in the playoffs, they've always gotten at least to the Western Conference Finals. So, I mean, we don't know. We didn't the year that Ibaka gets hurt.
They haven't
the year
played
that
these two teams for sure, but you're right.
Right, and we can't know. We can't know if they're going to get to second round totally healthy, or even potentially. So that's something to remember. Of course, they've never contended for that with a rookie coach. With on down the list of things that are different about
no
this
doubt.
team as opposed to those other teams. So it's an interesting dynamic for sure. All right, I think that is all for Thunder Thursday. Lots more playoff coverage to come in the coming days. We're going to have a new Thunder Buddies podcast up very soon, so be sure to check that out and be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere, every day in the Oklahoman and on News OK.